for Columbine is a 2002 Oscar-winning documentary written and directed by Michael Moore. And this documentary is one that I've been wanting to watch for years, absolutely years. And you know how it is. You discover something like a film, a piece of art or whatever, and you're like, yeah, I really want to watch that, I really want to check it out. And then you just don't. And in the back of your mind, you still really want to watch it, check it out, but then just more things happen, other things pile up, blah blah blah. In the end, you just don't watch it. And finally, I've seen it. I was aware of the Columbine massacre and I looked into that deeply when I first discovered it, and I think I was 11 or 12, like a decade ago. And I also found out about this documentary. And Bowling for Columbine is, yes, a documentary about the Columbine massacre of 1999. But it's not so much a documentary about that it just delves deep into the lives of the two killers or the school or whatever. It's, more broadly speaking, a documentary against gun violence, a documentary in favor of gun control, a documentary that also criticizes and satirizes American jingoism, going to other countries and just trying to control the world, but ultimately just fucking things up even harder. It's a much more deeply layered and complex documentary than I was expecting going in. But Michael Moore surprised me. He wholeheartedly surprised me. The mixture of humor and heartfelt emotions is something that I've always heard about him, and finally watching it in action was very satisfying. And for a 2-hour documentary, I know some people find it to be too long, but for me it was compelling from beginning to end. I was absolutely mesmerized by this. I was unable to take my eyes off the screen throughout the entirety of it. It's definitely one of the best documentaries I've seen, and it is because of that sweet balance between some humorous moments that come either from Michael Moore's narration, from the people themselves that he's interviewing, that he's finding. And it is also a disturbing documentary, a disturbing look at America, at the gun problems that they have, at the seriousness of also other impending problems like not only the government and the Bush administration back in the day, but also pollution. There's a small sequence about it that's about pollution that just works even harder nowadays, that we're going through utter destruction due to global warming. And I was, again, mesmerized by this. I loved Bowling for Columbine. I cannot wait to watch more from Michael Moore. And I know that he's a controversial figure, politically speaking, but I never really cared about it in that way. When I'm watching something like this, yes, it is political in the sense that it takes a political stance against a specific subject, but there's just such a big problem with gun control that it doesn't matter, I think, what your politics are. You can't deny the damage that's been done to thousands of people every year. So I highly recommend you watch Bowling for Columbine, and I'm curious in the comments below if you've watched Michael Moore's documentaries. Tell me which ones are your favorites and tell me what you think about him. And yes, we'll see if I review some more of them in the future. But still, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of Bowling for Columbine, and thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.